here, and as always, I want to thank you guys, you girls, and everybody else. In case there's any aliens watching, I'm thanking you for watching as well. Thanking you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report because you guys really are family. I want you to know all of your life family, even you, Philly 500. Now Philly is that uncle that you tell all the kids don't go too close to Philly 500 because he kind of crazy. Just stay away from him. You know, just be cool. Just stay away from that guy. But no, seriously, everybody's like family. And tonight during the live stream, I don't know, YouTube is not getting out my notifications like they usually do, so it was a little quieter than usual. But it was really, really nice because the comments weren't flying so quick that I couldn't actually see them, and I got to really interact with a lot of great fans out there. And it's funny because some of the people who I've disagreed with the most have become some of the best supporters. And see, that gives me hope that even though we don't agree with stuff, that we can still respect each other for our opinions. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I think he's a great quarterback for our team. Doesn't mean that everybody has to feel the same way I do. But more times than not, there's so much anger that you can't have a discussion, and people will be so close-minded that they won't listen. If you don't agree with me, then I can't listen. And here lies the problem for all of us is we can't fix anything. Everything is literally just stuck because the two sides can't work on it. If you ever get married, or if you are married, or you're in a relationship, you have to understand a couple of things. You can't win every time. Sometimes you can't win at all. But understand, you need to figure out, what am I willing to fall on my sword for? Because it needs to be a give and take. You know what I'm saying? You need to have a few victories in there as well. Because if you don't, if you feel like you don't ever have a chance, you're either going to just say, whatever, honey. And you're going to be miserable. And you're going to end up regretting being married to that person. You're going to feel that you're not a partner with that person. You are just going to kind of let it stew inside. And then finally, some little shit's going to happen. And you are literally going to explode about everything that's done happened forever. And it's going to be ugly. And it may be the end of your relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you have a problem, you got to be able to discuss it and say, hey, I hear what you're saying. I understand what you meant. But that's not the way I take it. Here's how I feel about what you did. And it may be that the other person didn't mean what you think it means. And you have to understand, putting yourself in that shoe. You may think it's ridiculous. You may not understand, but you got to understand that it's a different point of view. You may have had a different upbringing. You may have had a different environment. Because all of these things shade your opinion and how you deal with things in life. And your experiences are not the same as somebody else's. And so you have to understand and respect that other people have a difference. Because if you don't, that marriage right there, it ain't going to work. And what you have to realize is a marriage is a partnership. And you're only going to go as far as the two of you can go together. So, in fact, having a little bit of tension, having a difference of agreement brings some excitement. Also brings other ideas, because the two ideas together can actually be better than what you might have been doing by yourself and what you were doing by yourself. You put those together, all of a sudden you've got a great idea together. And that relationship in a marriage is the way our country is right now. I wish we could take all of this negative energy, all this hate. If we took all of that, all this stuff that everybody is putting into this, and put it to good, do you know how great we would be right now? Think about all the how much money has been spent in tear gas and rubber bullets. Can you imagine if we didn't have to spend money on that kind of stuff, what that money could do? Because you know where that money comes from, right? You know where that money comes from, right? You and me. It does. And see, here's the thing. Like I was saying before on my live stream, if you get cancer, you end up spending all this money trying to stop it. The chemo, the surgeries, all of that stuff trying to fight it, which costs a lot of money. But see, if you can find out the reasons why you got cancer and stop it at the beginning, if it's the fireproof fabric that's in couches, or if it's the non-stick coating, if it's the genetically modified food, that if these are things that are environment that are increasing your chances of getting cancer, if you can cut those things out, the money you spend there is not spent down here. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the fight over abortion. Whether to be able to have an abortion or not. Instead of getting to the point where you have to have an abortion, we know what causes pregnancy. Instead, let's do prevention. If you don't get pregnant, you don't have a fight over whether you can or can't have an abortion. Doesn't that seem like these are the kind of things I just run in my mind when I sit out here? You know, this fire pit down here just gets me thinking. But see, these are things we have to look at. If we have a problem with crime, why do we have a problem with crime? Because people don't have an opportunity. People can't get a job or an education, and it's survival. So maybe instead of having to spend $100,000, and trust me, I've built holding cells at the courthouse. When you get a 500-pound door that costs you $3,000 to be able to lock somebody up, that's just the door. That's not the price of shipping it. That's not the price of putting it in. When you think about it being about $100,000 a year to lock somebody up, maybe if I train that person to have a good job, instead of me spending money on locking them up year after year, they're actually able to work a job and create tax revenue that can go through and help society. I know this fireside chat has nothing really to do with it. Fireside chats are kind of the end of the day before I go to bed to kind of reflect on the day. I just wish somehow, some way, we could all see the light that we're better together than apart. I'm going to try and do my best to try and live that way. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, girls, everybody. I love all you guys. I have hope that when we get through all this, that we're all going to be stronger and we're going to be an even better country. I have that hope. I hope you do too. See you first thing in the morning. Be safe.